Morena, welcome to the Future Napier Committee meeting. First off, I have apologies from Councillor Crystal. Has anyone received any other apologies? Councillor Bogue. There being no others, I'll ask for a mover for those. Moved by Councillor Mawson, seconded by Councillor Tariha. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Call for any conflicts of interest. There being none, we don't have a public forum today. I'll pass over to Her Worship for mayoral updates.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Brosnan. I was just getting myself sorted when Councillor Price asked me earlier, but I do have some mayoral announcements, or actually acknowledgements, and I would like to acknowledge the passing of three very respected community members over recent days. The first being Pat Benson, who I'm sure many people are familiar with, local business owner and philanthropist, who I guess our relationship at Council has been most well known for all the work that him and his family have done with regards to our beautiful Art Deco buildings and the restoration and investment that they have made in a number of buildings throughout the city, for which Pat was made a life member of the Art Deco Trust. Pat, of course, is also very well known for his sporting prowess, both on the rugby field and in the swimming pool or ocean, of course, having swum the Cook Strait in 1979. And he is a stalwart in a number of local sporting clubs, including the Napier Old Boys Marist Rugby Club, the Hiratonga Sun Devil Swimming Club, and the Ocean Beach Kiwi Surf Lifesaving. So it would not come as a surprise to people that he did actually receive a QSM for services to the Art Deco restoration work and community work that he has done over the years. We have also recently lost Phil Belcher, a very respected artist and carver here in Hawke's Bay, who is also known for his passion for serving our local community. Projects he has been involved in include the Po in Waimarama, the Aotearangi Star Campus at Waitangi Park, and the restoration of the Whararangi Marae. And thirdly, but certainly not lastly, I would like to acknowledge the passing of John Crystal, the father of our very own Councillor Rhonda Crystal, who is also known and well respected for his sporting prowess over the years, having played for the Hawke's Bay Rugby. So wanting to acknowledge those three gentlemen who we have lost in recent days. Thank you.
Kia ora. Thank you, Mayor Wise. Right, I will make a call for any minor matters that aren't on the agenda that councillors would like discussed. If there is none, I will ask our Chief Executive if she has any management updates, and ask Rachel if you have any management updates.
Yeah, kia ora. I would like to give you an update on the work we've been doing to support people in the foreshore area. And as you're aware, there are a number of people in that area and have been in that area for a while now. Those numbers were increasing, and Council felt that for their health and safety and the health and safety of our wider public, that the situation had become untenable, and so we are supporting those people to take up the offers of support that they've been offered through the support agencies we've been working with. There's about 5 groups that we are continuing to work with, and every individual has different needs, and we're working on that with about 4 other support agencies. The work that we've been doing with that group and any other people around our city has been long term. It's not a short piece of work that we have done. We have been engaging with them over several months, and for some individuals over several years. And so the work that we're doing to move them from this area and into more suitable accommodation has come about only as a culmination of the untenable situation that has become with that foreshore area, and for no other reason. So we're continuing this work. The team are doing an amazing job, and all other agencies are providing whatever support is available to them as well. There are some individuals that don't want to take up that support for their own personal reasons, and there are some that are happy to receive it.
Thank you, Rachel. If there's no question on management updates, I will move into asking for a mover for the minutes of the future Napier committee meeting held on the 21st of September be taken as a true and correct record. If I could ask for a mover for those minutes. Moved by Councillor Tariha, seconded by Councillor McGrath. Thank you. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Right. I'd like to welcome Luke Johnson to the floor here. Thank you. If you'd like to take us through our first agenda item, the resource consent activity update. Thank you, Luke.
Thank you. Kia ora. Just before I start, I just wanted to point out the type of report is for information purposes, and there is no applicable legal reference. I apologise for leaving that out. With respect to resource consenting over the last, actually it's been quite a while since we've had an update, so the numbers have remained consistent around the applications being received. They've been down by 15% in comparison to the 12-month period beforehand. The breakup of applications has remained the same, generally 55% land use activities and 45% subdivision. The average processing times for land use activities, however, has decreased from 23 business days down to 19, which is really good. It's sort of helping to get these developments up and running a little bit quicker. So that's as a result of good work by the consenting team and also the people over in infrastructure that contribute to that process. By way of update for some more notable applications, the first being 42 Whaurangi Road at Green Meadows or Tamatea. That's a large development that's been proposed on the corner there, which is made up of 69 residential lots. There's a number of super lots which we haven't got the detail around what's actually been proposed there at this stage. It's just essentially for future development of either residential or commercial purposes, and a number of roads to vest with council and also some reserves or an esplanade. That application is currently under assessment, and we're expected to make a determination on that in due course. The next application is based or proposed over land at 18 Miani Road at Taradale. That's for a dentist business to operate. Obviously, there's some matters that the applicant's working through around access to the site and transport matters. Again, that's an application that's under assessment and expected to be determined in due course. Following on, we've got the application over 1, 1B and 3 Cray Street in Napier. That's a multi-unit development comprising commercial tenancies and residential units above. That was recently on Section 92 request, and that's also recently had a response, so the assessment of that continues. One application that I haven't put in that list, which I will make sure we have a more detailed update on, is an application proposed over land at the corner of Kennedy Road and 15 Owen Street. It's a 3-storey development that they're proposing 1 and 2 bedroom units, residential development that is. There's 24 units being proposed, 20 car parking spaces, and that application is currently on Section 92. So further information being awaited, for by the applicant.
Thank you, Luke. I was just going to say we could explain Section 92.
Yeah.
Thank you. So further information being requested.
That's right.
Thank you.
Then moving on to the Kangaroo developments that we're currently assessing of significance, one being 11 Macefield Avenue, Maraenui, which is the subdivision of the previously approved units over that site. There's nothing significant to that. It's just essentially tidying up the site, allowing each dwelling to be contained within its own separate lot. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Luke. It's really good to get these updates of applications in progress that may be of interest to councillors. I'll open the floor if there's any questions around any of the new updates we've received today. Just a quick one from me, Luke. Sorry to put you on the spot, but what are your timeframes looking at the moment? I'm sure you're regularly sort of updating what those are looking like? Are we generally within our statutory timeframe?
Yes, we are. I think there was only maybe one or two last year in 2023, towards the end of the year, that we exceeded due to a significant or complexity of the application. But generally speaking, the timeframes are within legislated requirements.
Perfect, thank you. I'm not seeing any other hands, so if that is the case, I'm happy to move from the chair. Can I ask for a seconder to the report? Seconded by Councillor Price. Any comments? No.
Good paper.
Thank you. Any other comments? There being none, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Thank you very much, Luke. All right, our second and last agenda item is our key projects update from City Strategy, and I'll ask Rachel Horton if she's able to take us through.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. So I'm going to ask Darren, Georgina and Steph, would you like to come up? So we've got a number of items on this paper. We last gave you an update on our key projects since September last year, and I've got the officers are here to speak to each of the items. There are some officers who are away today, so I will cover their area. So on terms of the items to start with, I thought that we'll go through each item and then just pause if there's any questions on that item, and then we can proceed with the next one. Might be easiest for you to remember your questions. So maybe we could start with Darren and covering off Te Aka and the officer accommodation. Thank you.
Morena, councillors, I will keep this reasonably brief because we've been to you on the 1st and 8th of February on both of these particular projects, so I'll focus on what's happening right now. We've now begun the concept designs for the officer accommodation in the ex-library tower. That is now underway with main focus on the ground floor work and that integration with the council chambers and Te Aka, the library building. And we've also begun our value design processes to make sure that we are getting the maximum amount for our investment here. So we're just going through a sanity check on things like services, air conditioning, that kind of part of the process to make sure that we're staying on budget. I will be bringing to council very soon a market update on our engagement with the construction industry and how that will feed into our procurement plan. So that will probably come up in March, where that report should be finalised either tomorrow or the beginning of next week, which will give you a view of that kind of 13 to 15 construction firms who have fed back to us on this particular opportunity. And as I say, that will then also lead into what our process looks like for the procurement of our lead contractor and subcontractors. And then we have scheduled in early March, probably 12th and 13th, our next wānangas for the project advisory group. And again, that focus will be on the ground floor of the Civic Administration Building, the council chambers, and the innovation spaces within Te Aka. So the innovation spaces are the kind of messy and technical spaces that we'll be providing in Te Aka. So that could be makerspace, that could be sewing. So a lot of the programs that the library team are currently testing, we want to bring that in a more kind of full rounder development to workshop with the advisory group on the 12th and 13th. So that's the main update from me on that project.
Thank you, Darren. I'll ask if there's any questions on the progress for our library build, Te Aka, and the stage 2 accommodation. I think we're good. Thank you, Darren.
All right, so Georgina and Steph, we're now talking about the revitalise Emerson Street and probably move straight after that to the Waka Hub. Yeah,
Sure. Morning, everyone. I'll take the report as read, but we'll just give you the high points. So this project, the revitalisation of Emerson Street, is the redesign of the entire length of Emerson Street. So that's from Clive Memorial Square all the way up to Marine Parade. As you'll be fully aware, Emerson Street requires its own distinct identity within the CBD as our main retail street, and so should showcase what our city has to offer. So to successfully achieve this, it's important that the design of the entire length is considered all at one time. This allows or ensures that we get good legibility and continuity of design, aesthetic, along the entire length of the project, but it also allows us to have the ability to split the design into stages for construction without compromising the design outcome. And it's also a really good opportunity for us to not only achieve consistency and high quality of design in the urban realm, but it also clearly signals to potential and future investors and businesses council's intent and our vision for Emerson Street into the future. The purpose of the project is to enhance amenity of our primary retail area through best practice urban design, to encourage investment in our CBD, and to provide a variety of opportunities for public, social interaction and vibrancy. The objectives of the project being to reinvigorate Emerson Street, to improve the public realm, and that includes safer shared spaces, and the design also gives us the ability to incorporate mechanisms within the streetscape to deter other antisocial behaviour such as ram raids. Another objective being attraction for investors and entrepreneurs. This project will also, because it starts at Clive Memorial Square, it provides us the opportunity to bookend our retail sector at the western gateway to the CBD. There's opportunity, a successful streetscape upgrade has the potential to positively impact property values in the surrounding area also. And as everyone will be aware, tourists seek out destinations that offer vibrant and lively street atmosphere. And so upgrading Emerson Street provides opportunities for cultural experiences, dining, shopping and socialising, which also will enhance our tourism and visitor attraction. We have undertaken this project with a community-led design process, and this is really important for us. So before we even embarked on any design, we have gone out to our community and had extensive community feedback and stakeholder feedback and engagement, and that's to seek opinion and feedback from our community and our stakeholders and our businesses to understand what they see as being important and ensuring that we are listening to them as far as what the future of our main retail street can offer. Our program and staging to date is that we have engaged a design team. So we have a consortium of Land Lab and Becker are our consultants for this project, which is really exciting. We've got a program where we are completing our concept design and it will be coming to council on the 20th of June. Between now and then, we've got a range of stakeholder engagement meetings. We've got one programmed for the 28th of the 2nd, so that's next week. And that includes Napier City Business membership, steering group and our internal stakeholders. We have another programmed for the 12th of March, and then they will be coming to see yourselves in a workshop on the 28th of March to go through 50% phase or point of design. And that'll be talking about the key design moves that we're looking at. So that'll be things like direction of traffic, how the road's going to function, what sort of spatial layout we'll be looking at. And then from there, we're moving through to another engagement phase with our stakeholders. And then there'll be another workshop with yourselves on the 28th, or the 9th of May, sorry. That's the 75% point for design. And then they'll be coming to council for a final design approval for the concept of the entire length of Emerson Street on the 20th of June. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Thank you, George. Councillor Brown.
Kia ora, thank you. It's exciting to see this part of the city getting some attention. One of the key outcomes that we set in our strategic planning process was that every project like this involves an element of storytelling.
Yes.
Could you please talk to how that is included in this?
So our design team are working extensively with both, so our stakeholder group, which is been fed through also from our engagement work that Focal undertook, and also working with with Te Waka Rangipu. So how those stories get integrated is actually going to be part of that engagement process. So we haven't predetermined how that might come about, and at this stage we're just embarking on that design engagement with the design team and our stakeholders now.
Thank you. Councillor Crown.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And just to follow on and support what George was saying, some of us as part of the working group have been privy to the draft report that's been prepared by Focal, and storytelling, wayfinding, etc. features very prominently in our community's feedback so far. So I don't think there's any risk that that part's going to be missed out.
George, just a question from me. When, if ever, has Emerson Street had this level of attention?
The last upgrade of Emerson Street, the design was undertaken in 1987 and the physical works was undertaken in 1990. So that was the last time that council put this level of investment into Emerson Street.
Thank you. 1987. Great year. Any other? Councillor Mawson.
Yeah, just through the chair, just appreciating, I see the timeline here in the paper, and you've mentioned about the design team and stuff, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, but just wondering if you had a lot of engagement from the people with mobility issues or disability community about the design. And it's certainly something that I'll highlight, obviously, as we go forward. But
Absolutely, yes, and we have been working and engaging with them as part of the pre-engagement, but it's also part of our standard design process that will be liaising
Excellent.
with those organisations. But also we have Cheryl Gregg, who is on our council staff, and she is part of the specialist internal stakeholder group.
yes, as I am too, so I thought I'd thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Gregg.
Through you, Madam Chair. I really like the part of your report, Georgina, about encouraging investment in the CBD, and hopefully, like when this upgrade has happened, we'll get a lot of attention from Wellington, Christchurch and Auckland, and maybe they might even think about coming here.
Let's hope so. Absolutely.
Great. Thank you, everyone. I think we're done with questions, so we'll move on to
Waka Hub, yeah.
Hello again. So the Waka Hub, the Iron Pot Waka Hub is what it used to be called. That was how it was first identified in the Ahuriri Coastal Edge Master Plan in 2018. This plan detailed the transformation of the Iron Pot to accommodate a permanent mooring for wakahaurua and spaces for events, associated opportunities to tell the area's rich history and stories, and also to celebrate celestial navigation. The master plan underwent significant program and stakeholder engagement with the public, and there was written partnership with Mana Ahuriri Trust at the time, which was a pre-settlement entity at that time. The Waka Hub initiative received a significant level of support from both stakeholders and the general public, and funding for that was put into the LTP in 2021 to 31 of 8.7 million. The Inner Harbour Plan, which was then the next iteration, was prepared in 2019 and adopted in 2022, and this went into further detail with general concept ideas with the Waka Hub at the Iron Pot. There was not any, at that time, any feasibility study undertaken around the position or location of the Waka Hub. It just went through from being first identified in the Ahuriri Master Plan to then being an assumption in the Inner Harbour Plan. As part of the work behind developing the design ideas and feasibility of that, we undertook an optioneering report with engineers, local engineers, and it was determined that the estimated cost of construction far exceeded what we had allowed for in our LTP, and that was due to enabling works that is required within the Iron Pot. So as a result of that, we have gone back to, and we're working with Aotearangi Trust, and we have gone back and assessed various locations within the Inner Harbour that would be feasible for the Waka Hub. So we've gone through a multi-criteria analysis with Aotearangi Trust, there is a series, as you'll see in the paper, a series of weighted criteria that these were being assessed against, and that work has been completed. The second stage of that is to go through a assessment of the cost and infrastructural components of the preferred sites. So we've come down to a short list of 3, and those are being run through by Becca now as to what the potential cost of those 3 preferred sites will be to put the Waka Hub in that location. That work will be completed at the end of this month, beginning of next. I think we're receiving the report from Becca on the 3rd of March. From that, we will have a preferred site. So we will know then where the Waka Hub can go and to still meet what is budgeted in our LTP. So we're recognising that there is 2.2 million that we have set aside from the Better Off Fund, and that is to do with the urban realm associated with the Waka Hub. And there is currently in the proposed LTP 3.3 million set aside dedicated to the Waka Hub. So any questions?
Councillor Price.
Will this be consulted on once you have a preferred site?
Yes, absolutely, we can do that. At this stage, we just wanted to get to a point where we know a viable site that would be able to meet the budget that we have allocated. And yes, absolutely, we'll go through consultation from that point.
Just a second. So in this hub, is there ablution blocks and changing rooms and?
So the scale of the Waka Hub is it is proposed that, and part of the assessment criteria required not only a mooring and the Waka Whare, so that's the pavilion, but also the opportunity for storage and ablution blocks and a kitchenette, so that you can have end of journey for other waka that visit, to be able to have showers and clean dishes and do that sort of thing. So yes, that is intended to be all part of that facility.
Thank you.
Thank you, George.
Right, excellent. I think I can ask you guys, thanks very much, to step back and thank you very much. So the next items on our report will be Juriel and I. So please come up, Juriel. So these officers are away at the moment, so I will do my best to give you the updates that are in the report. So starting with the Ahuriri Regional Park. So as you're aware, the Joint Committee has engaged consultants to do the master planning work, and they are currently in the investigative or design phase of that, with, I think, a workshop with consultants and stakeholders was conducted last week. So some rich material came out of that, and that'll go into that master planning exercise. The proposed district plan was notified in September last year. As you're aware, we've had 88 submissions, and we've also had a few late submissions. The team are working through those submissions line by line at the moment to provide the summary of submissions that will come to you. That summary of submissions, of course, will then go back out to the public for the public to have another opportunity to make submissions, and then we'll be moving into the hearings and decision process later in the year. Just some of the themes of that 288 submissions are fence heights, medium to high density, and noise around Port Airport and the Miani Speedway. So some of the themes, the common themes that are coming out of the submission work. And as you're aware, there is also 3 variations in chapters still being worked on, and that's the sites of significance to Māori, the significant natural areas, or SNAs, and our natural hazards. And that work will also is underway right now, with consultation being planned, and then those 2 components, the proposed district plan as it is now and those variations, will come together at the end of the year and come together as the district plan. I just might pause there. Are there any questions about that stuff at the moment?
Yes, councillor Simpson.
Yeah, just for the record, can you just clarify the second paragraph? It says the proposed district plan was notified in September 2024.
Oh,
Should be 2023.
thank you. Thank you, councillor.
Thank you, councillor Simpson. Quick one from me, Rachel. Have we got any commentary on, obviously once the district plan is notified, it's given weighting and new applications, how the actual application of the new district plan is going? Is that sitting well with the teams in terms of application processing?
Yeah, so there's quite a bit of cross-training between the policy team and our planners to ensure that they know how to interpret the new district plan. There'll be a lot of work together to ensure that we are getting that right. Some parts of it are operative, some parts will become operative, and then when at the end of the year, the whole thing will be operative. So, it's in that transition period, it can be complex for our planners, but we've got plenty of support from the policy team and from our legal people to support that.
Thank you. Just see if there's any other questions on the Ahuriri Regional Park or district plan. No, very good.
Right, so the future development strategy, you're very familiar with this work. There's been quite a significant amount of community and stakeholder engagement already across the 4 councils on this project. And the next steps in the process is that we'll be finalising 2, actually probably 3 scenarios for growth for Napier that will be proposed to you. And that will go out for consultation, of course, and then that will be, the outcomes of that consultation will go to the Joint Committee for endorsement ahead of final adoption. So that's really what the focus is on at the moment, is building up those scenarios and those future growth areas.
Any questions or comments on future development strategy? No, happy to carry on. Thanks, Rachel.
Cool. And then bylaw and review program, I might ask Gerald to comment on Easter trading and freedom camping.
Yeah, certainly. Kia ora everyone. So last year we adopted the rollover of the Easter trading policy. So that means this year all traders or retailers will have the choice to open on Easter Sunday if they wish, and then that will be reviewed again in 5 years' time. And the freedom camping bylaw is also currently in the process of being reviewed. So the first part of the process is to do some analysis, which will include qualitative and quantitative, so looking at the reports or complaints that have come in and also engaging with stakeholders. And we're hoping to have that before council for some direction setting and then eventually out for consultation at the end of May, early June. That's what we're aiming for. Yeah, so that's a work in progress at the moment. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Gerald. Aiming for consultation end of May, June on freedom camping. When would you expect the workshop to happen?
Yeah, it'll be in the next month or so. We're preparing, and I just want to make sure we've got all of the information relevant so that you can make an informed decision before that happens.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Questions on bylaw reviews?
I might just add on the freedom camping bylaw review that, this has been triggered by the change in the legislation for the self-contained motor vehicles, something legislation act, I can't remember exactly. And so that's been triggered, but it is a good opportunity for, you to think about your freedom camping areas, what sort of provision of freedom camping you want to deliver, and not just necessarily, update our bylaw to that legislation, but to take another refresh look at it. Yeah.
While we're on freedom camping bylaw, just a question. You said you're collecting some data and matrix. Is the amount of funding we're putting into external services part of that data collection? I know that we have consultants that do that sort of monitoring after hours.
Yeah, right now we're all doing it all in-house, but if we were to engage in some external consultants, that I would have to go through Rachel. And
my question, is the likes of Armaguard or after hours services that are being engaged at the moment, are we collecting information on how much that is costing us to bring to that workshop?
Yeah, that's right. I'll bring that information to the workshop.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, that's good. And then we're moving into climate. So the Climate Action Joint Committee, the next step for this Technical Advisory Group, or the TAG, is to bring back an outline of the action plan, relationship framework to identify the spaces that all the current joint committee, all current joint committee relevant to the climate action occupy, and then a gap analysis of the regional hazard data. So basically looking at what are we covering around climate action across all of the region, and where are our gaps, and what are we not covering? And it sort of connects to the to that one pager I gave you at the, can't remember when that was, but anyway, about how Council was working on climate action across many of our work streams and many of our directorate. So this is at, but this view would be at a regional level. We've increased our officer support to the technical advisory group to help with this work, and to also to improve our policy advice to those elected members that are on that joint committee. The Coastal Hazards Joint Committee, yes, pre-engagement for this in terms of funding models is set to go out in May 2024, and then with the idea of consulting on that in September 2024. So this is the funding model for regional council to pick up the work on coastal hazards. And then coastal inundation, as you're aware, we released the modelling on the 14th of December last year. We got 2023 on that one, so that was good. And we've got a follow-up. We did do quite a lot of engagement prior to Christmas, but we always said, because it was prior to Christmas, that we wanted to do another pop-in, if you like, for people who might have been too busy at that time. So that is scheduled now for the 6th of March 2024. And this work is, the modelling for this obviously sets the floor levels for all of our building and construction in Napier. So that's all I have for you. Are there any other questions on those matters?
Councillor Price.
I wanted to just go back to the freedom camping, and you talked about the security. Could we also ascertain what numbers security firms turn out to work for us? Because feedback I'm getting is there's only one officer, and I think the days of one person going to these events is gone. So it could be an additional cost that comes in. Would you cover that?
Yep, I'm getting nods
Thank you.
from Jerry. We'll do some work on that
That's
ahead of the
right.
workshop. Thank you,
Yeah,
Councillor Price.
Thank you.
Right, any other comments on our Climate Action Committee, our Coastal Joint Committee, Coastal Hazards Joint Committee, and Coastal Inundation Modelling last year? Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, that's the end of our updates on the various projects within the Directorate. Thank you, Rachel and the team, for leading us through those. I'll ask for a mover and Councillor Crown, and a seconder and Councillor Brown. Any comments, ladies?
Thank you, through you, Madam Chair. Just to say, really valuable information, I think, not just for us, but particularly for our community around some of these key projects. So yeah, just acknowledge the work of the team and encourage people that the information is available to them if they want to have a read and find out more.
Thank you, Councillor Crown. Councillor Brown.
Just seconding what Councillor Crown said, it's a good high-level overview of a lot of work that's underway at the moment. Great.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd support that. It's great to see what everyone's up to within the Directorate. So thank you, team. I will put the motion if there's no further speakers. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Carried. Thank you, everyone. That's the end of Future Napier, and I will pass back over to Councillor Price. Have a 1 minute.